The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch, and all right, we're looking at this article from Wired. Now, this is a article from 2014. So I've been looking at some older comic articles lately, just to how have things evolved. So this is from old Graham McMillan, our favorite, in Wired, and the article is Marvel Comics 10 Greatest Political Jabs Ever. And this is slightly before this narrative really got going. But basically, the purpose behind articles like this is that, the customers and the fan base started saying things like, we don't want politics in our comics. And then the response was, well, comics have always been political. And then they would whip out that, picture of Captain America, punching Hitler, which I suspect we're going to get here in this article somewhere. But we'll see. We'll see if that prediction turns out to be true. But anyway, we're going to go through this. I'll talk about this panel here in a minute. But the thing is, and I always feel like, one side is being sometimes slightly lazy by just saying, we don't like politics in our comics. That's not entirely true. A lot of these same people like Watchmen, and they love the Mark Gruenwald run of Captain America, where there certainly were politics and everything else. But it's easier to say I don't want politics in my comics than the far longer statement of, I would like the comics to be well written and not have kind of hacky slogan talking points being thrown out that are usually feel more like they're at home at Twitter than in a comic. And particularly, we don't like those talking points inserted into the mouths of characters where it doesn't make any sense in the first place for them to be saying those things. That doesn't fit in a tweet. It's a much longer statement. But here's the thing. The people who go, well, comics have always been political, they know this. They know what you're saying. I mean, 99 times out of 100, one of the things that annoys me the most, and certainly stupid people are annoying, but what's worse are people who pretend to be stupid. They know what you mean, but instead they're going to play like I am a second grader. I have no idea what you're saying. Me cannot understand big words. You must be racist. That kind of stuff. And so the whole argument is always super phony to me. It's like we all know what's going on. Anyway, let's get to this article. And what I came to realize, look, here's a little Wired ad. There's this article is very short, and basically in the trailers for Captain America Winter Soldier, Cap complains to Nick Fury about S.H.I.E.L.D.'s new proactive stance. Thought the punishment usually came after the crime. If the political overtones seem out of place in a superhero movie, then you've clearly not been paying close enough attention to Marvel Comics over the years. For more than 5 decades, the House of Ideas has strived to recreate the world outside your window, including commentary on everything political, from presidential elections to fringe elements like the Tea Party, even extremist groups like the KKK. Hell, presidents have even gone toe-to-toe with Captain America himself. Though, to be fair, it was after they turned him into a snake man. Thank you. Anyway, here's a quick guide to 10 of Marvel's greatest political statements to date. Turns out that no matter what political players and S.H.I.E.L.D. directors you might want you to believe, Captain America has been standing up to American dreams since day one. Again, this is 2000. Can't deal with that. A lot of you wrote into okay. Can't deal with that ad. Anyway, so this is just some panels. So the article was basically the laziest shit ever. It was 3 short paragraphs. What do you expect from Wired? And there's not more text really that comes into to the picture. But basically, this came in early, as I said, in 2014, and this was the early shot fired in the comics. Have always been political. So anyway, let's take a look. First, we got this one. Which, as I recall, is from Captain America, and this is the Falcon, I think, talking in the caption, "I don't exactly see a black man from Harlem fitting in with a bunch of angry white folks," which is a weird kind of statement to say because, as a black man, he fit in with angry white folks every time the Avengers went and kind of chased something down. I mean, the Avengers aren't in there singing kind of lollipop songs where they're going to face the masters of evil. Generally, they were angry. So you seem to fit in fine there. But anyway, we get some posters here. Stop the socialists. American, not Americant. I'm guessing this is no new taxes over here. And then this is just some scribbles. Societal now. I'm not sure. America for sale. Sure. Anyway, we got some all angry white folks here who are protesting. And these are meant to be kind of redneck conservative Republicans. I don't see a lot of redneck conservative Republicans marching around with signs like this. It happens, but it's not very common. Anyway, all right. So this is one of the greatest political jabs ever. Black guys can't fit in with angry white guys, I guess. And here's some signs. American. Actually, the font is driving me crazy. They should have written that in. It looks super, super strange here. Anyway, let's look at the next one. Okay. Okay. So here we got the Secret Empire one. Now this was where the Secret Empire was, up to shenanigans here, and Captain America grabs the leader and faces him, and he goes, "Let's have a look underneath your cowl. Good Lord, you." And they never said it. He said, "High political office didn't satisfy me. It's Nixon." That's what they meant to do here. This was Nixon. My power is still too constrained by legalities. That was what they did here. Nixon commits suicide in this comic here. They never show Nixon, but that's clearly what they meant. Greatest political jab. It's the end of a storyline. I don't know if it's a political jab. Okay, let's go to the next one here. This one, Ronald Reagan turned into a snake man. So this is basically, and it wasn't, again, a political jab. As I recall, the Red Skull poisoned people, and Reagan got infected and turned into a snake creature. Captain America fought him, and then wore him out, and he reverted to himself. And they made some joke about needing mommy to take care of him, or Nancy Reagan. But anyway, this is again, greatest political jab. I mean, I guess if you hated Reagan, you wanted to see him turn into some kind of snake monster and then restored to power, naked and crying, then I suppose so. So anyway, this was Mark Grunwald's run, which I did enjoy quite a bit, but it really, again, wasn't a political jab. It was, president turned into Snake Man due to evil plot. Anyway, we'll see. There's no new text. This guy's still shouting away, but there's no new text here. This is all we got. This is literally one of the laziest articles ever. All right, next political jab. Okay. We call it the Supreme Serpent. And he's going to call it serpent because the serpent is feared. No mercy. The original serpent drove Adam and Eve from Eden, so we shall drive all foreigners from this land. That's a racist serpent, is what's going on here. That's for me. Once you become a serpent, there's nobody you can't push around. Okay. So these serpents are dealing with immigration. So cool political jab. All right, and here we got Spider-Man. And this is, where Spider-Man unmasks, basically. How in the fuck is this a political jab? Anyway, the Registration Act. Basically, Spider-Man stood for the Registration Act. That he didn't want Captain America to go completely unchecked. Superheroes have to be legitimate, earn public trust. This is when he was still married to Mary Jane, of course. And J. Jonah Jameson, I thought, had a heart attack after this was announced. But anyway, this is... okay, that was from Civil War. All right, and here is what is this from? This is the so-called now coalition brought the so-called Mutant Breeding Act to a public referendum, Proposition X. This was from that Dark Avengers X-Men crossover, as I remember. This is Greg Land, of course, is doing the comic. If our goal isn't to legislate who gets to breed, but ensure everyone gets to survive. And then this was basically an act that undergo chemical therapy for birth control if they were born a mutant. Sure, all right. Okay, number 7. What do we got here? Here is, he's standing watching from the Oval Office, the Satan of Counter-Earth, the Lucifer, the fallen Newman. And he's like, the red phone comes in, only used to emergencies. In this political jab, we've got a different Earth, Counter-Earth, from the Newman in the Oval Office. And this is a commentary on Bush. Anyway, all right. Here we go. Okay, it's good. It's great. People care. And this is a speechwriter. Today's candidate. This is basically a comic with some politics. And this is a speechwriter who is making a speech for somebody running for office. And here is here's an ad back in the 80s for the Mutant Registration Act. They put this in comics. Do you know what your children are? Mutie. And this was, you could register as a mutant. There was a little campaign there where you could actually register your mutant powers. And the idea was that the person who had the coolest powers got drawn into a book. And that was something that happened. Anyway, we did get an Art Adams story out of it. Okay, and then we have this. It's hard to believe that you're the one who's been creating all these problems. Makes sense in a funny kind of way. This is from the Ultimates. And, a traitor is someone who believes this Hank. This is Hank Pym, who's pissy. And as I recall, this is a Black Widow who's making this coffee or tea or whatever. And, making a statement of people are scared of us when superheroes show up and do stuff. And that's it. The greatest political jabs ever from Wired. Okay, this was awful. Anyway, are those the greatest political? Again, comics have always had politics in them. As I've said, it's not that comics haven't had them or should have them. Comics can have politics all day long. You've got a character called Captain America. Makes sense. What people are asking for is not to make them stupid, and also probably not to make articles stupid as well. So, greatest political jabs ever. This is what people are thinking in 2014. Thanks for watching.
I don't belong here.